Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new here, I am Psychic Bella Love. You can book your own personal and private reading with me on my website, psychicbellalove.com. New clients can use coupon code NEW at checkout to get extra money off. I do not take reading requests on YouTube. However, you can request videos on your favorite celebrities by joining my Patreon. I upload daily exclusive content that is never shared anywhere else on Patreon. That's where we expose everything. We're completely uncensored. Everything goes. We talk about anything and everything over there. And we are going to start doing live celebrity readings on Patreon as well next week. So make sure you join for that. Also, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notification bell. YouTube has been doing its weird thing of not recommending videos or not unsubscribing people. So check that you are still subscribed and all of that. And if you aren't, then do so. And this is going to be a video about Young Miami and Diddy and Joie. I have no idea how you say that girl's name. I am so sorry. I'm not trying to be like rude or anything. I just really like never know how to pronounce her name. But there's been, you know, she's been spotted. They've both been spotted with Diddy. And they've both turned up wearing very similar things lately as well. So we're gonna see, you know, what's going on with each of those situations and if he is going to just end up with one over the other. So let's go ahead and jump into that. Please join us and answer any questions that we have in regards to Sean Combs, the rapper known as Diddy, and his relationships with young women named Carisha, also known as Young Miami, and Joie Chavez. Thank you. We're asking only with the intention and purpose of clarity and understanding, not with any bad intention, only so that we know the truth. Please bless and protect all who we ask about in this reading, as well as all who participate and listen. Amen. And I'm trying not to shake my table too much, shuffling everything around because my light and my stand broke. So that's why it's darker in here, because my light completely won't turn on right now. And I had to prop everything up in weird ways and I couldn't really control the angles of things. So bear with me. I will hold up the cards and show them to you. I don't really like trip off of showing cards anyways because I'm really psychic and I don't need them. I don't even use them most of the time. And I read intuitively. So hold your comments on when I interpret my Ace of Cups is. That's good for you, boo-boo. Everybody reads differently. Be more concerned about the people that only read their cards literally. They're not that intuitive. Alrighty, so the first thing that Spirit's chiming in and talking about is, you know, Diddy was, and I'm just going to refer to him as Diddy. I don't know what the F he is calling himself these days. I grew up, you know, in the whole bad boy era. I am the same age as Nicki, Beyonce, and all of them. So I have seen him be called 100 different things at this point, and so my brain has just decided his name is Diddy, and that is what it is, and that's what we will always be calling him forever, regardless of what he chooses to go by next. Because I just can't keep rolling with all the name changes. But he had actually gotten to a point a few years ago where he wasn't necessarily in that exact moment, like, oh, I'm ready to settle down, but he could see that end point. Like, within the next few years, I want to just, have one partner. We go on vacation together, that I don't have to, worry and everything. And I don't think he necessarily 100% had to decided, oh, it's going to be Kim. But that was at least always an option for him, so to speak, right? And so Spirit is saying her passing definitely was a big Tower card moment for him, because not only did he realize, now I have to be a sole person taking care of all these kids by myself and get them through the grieving process, and I don't have her to fall back on with all of that anymore. But let's be honest, it took that option away from him, and it did make him start to think, was she the one and I screwed all up, and I should have gotten her and done right by her so long ago, and I didn't, and now it's too late. And so Spirit is saying, part of this whole I'm out here with all these young girls, and I'm doing all this stuff. Part of it is because he thinks that he convinced himself, probably out of guilt and grieving and all of that, that Kim was that one true love for him, his one opportunity, and now it's gone. His soulmate has passed, and he's not going to find that love again. So he might as well just, be out here having a good time, not taking things serious. It feels like grief, guilt, and a midlife crisis all rolled into one, where it's like, you're not really considering that everybody can still always find that person for them. We don't, in the context of soulmates, if we've all been here multiple times, that means we've been with multiple different souls. We don't only have one soulmate. So you definitely could still have the opportunity to do that, or just be with a really great partner anyways. But he's carrying a lot of baggage where he's convinced himself that that's no longer possible for him. So he might as well just be out here flinging it around, doing his thing and having fun, and not taking anything too serious, right? So this Five of Wands to me is always about this internal battle when somebody is going through something and they have to, fight through that. This Tower card was, representing what happened when Kim passed, because the Empress card was over the top of it, and Spirit wanted us to know that the Empress was Kim. So, he's basically been battling this out ever since she has passed. And usually in tarot, of course, pages and knights, a page would mean a female, a knight would mean a male, but it also can come in the context of the hierarchy and the stages of emotional maturity within a person. And so where he always needed to step up more to be at that King of Cups level, when it came to Kim, he only ever managed, and it's not only just with Kim, it's in every relationship, he only ever managed to be the Knight of Cups, sort of that teenager puppy love stage where it's I love the excitement, the chase, the romanticism of getting to know each other, and the sneaking around, and all of that fun stuff. But when it came down to actually living day to day, waking up together and making breakfast, and who's doing the laundry this time, and all of that kind of stuff, that's boring, and it didn't hold my interest, and I would end up wandering off to go find some more excitement, usually in somebody else's pants, right? So instead of this pushing him to then grow up to be the King of Cups, he is backslid into the Page of Cups, which is even, you know, it's like, let's be the preteen boy that's like, oh, boobs, you know, and just get distracted by every pretty thing that walks by and not being very invested at all in these situations. And you know, we have this Lover's card here denoting that that's exactly what this whole situation is, Spirit saying in regards to both of these women, and the Three of Pentacles, that obviously there is benefit to the both of them being involved with Mr. Diddy Bop in one way or another, right? So, but the thing is, Spirit is saying, though both of them also see it as like, we know what it is, what time it is. They're not new to this. They're true to this, you know? So they're also having a good time with it. Alrighty, so let's see. Spirit, what can you tell me about the connection between Diddy and Carisha, aka Miami? Thank you. Let's read on what each connection is separately, and then see what Spirit has to say about the outcome of each. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, and this is in no way putting down any woman that he has been with, but since Jennifer Lopez, when Diddy does end up with a woman, you know, and this is talking about claiming them publicly and whatnot, he's gone very much back to his roots of, I find a really pretty girl that like people know a little bit about, but she's not a J-Lo like level person. And, you know, at least as long as they're dealing with him, let's be honest, they're not going to be, because we all saw what happened to Cassie's career being with him. He likes to be the bigger star in the relationship, because it's not even about, I need the public to see me as the bigger person in this relationship. It's that he very much likes to have a dynamic of control within his relationships. And so therefore, if he is the one who has the bigger career, you need something from him, then he still remains that dominant, I'm the bigger person, the bigger star, I have the level of control in this situation, therefore you have to do things more on my terms, and I don't have to necessarily always compromise for you. But a lot of these more powerful men, you know, do that. He is not alone in this behavior, you know, and it's, I think that sometimes as you get to such a level of power that these people don't know how to turn it off, that they seek out relationships where it's like, well, you're like an employee to me and you need to do what I say because you're dependent on me. And they just feel like that's the space I always operate in, and they can't switch back and forth between being normal at home and then being the boss at work. Why Spirit's been pushing so much of us to find balance this year. Because we have to find that if we are going to connect with soulmates, because soulmate season, you know, also happened during the Great Awakening. That portal opened up as well. And so, you know, if we don't know how to balance things, we definitely aren't going to be able to connect to a soulmate. So spirits, you know, if you've found yourself on a personal level being forced to change a lot of things in your life and find some balance, or you've been redirected and shifted into a different path, and those transitions are always uncomfortable, you know, let's be honest. It really is because spirit is forcing you to refocus, either so that you can be pushed onto your destiny path, or so that you can be in a space where you're ready and able to be with a soulmate, because there's room and there's balance in your emotions, because they don't deserve to be controlled or have to deal with your baggage, right? Same that you didn't want to deal with that from them. So just a little message from spirit, because they said somebody that's watching this is needed to hear this, that it is really just confirmation that your difficulties have an ultimate purpose that's going to lead to your best and highest good, and it's not a negative thing in the end. Alrighty, so you know, this is what's funny, is that going back to that whole control thing, right? There is this thing here where, you know, Diddy really, he has fun with Carisha. Like, she really makes him laugh. She has that fun personality. She makes him feel young. And he really enjoys himself with her. Like, he feels like if there's any place that I can go to, anybody I can call up to hang out with, that, you know, I'm having a crazy stressful day, just being with them, I'm gonna forget all about everything that bothered me today, and I'm gonna be laughing my ass off on the floor with this crazy girl, and, you know, then we're gonna have crazy time. Okay, so what's actually funny here is, Diddy, you might find yourself falling in love with Carisha and getting your little heart broken, because Carisha definitely knows what time it is. She is showing up as being all about her bag. I know it gets people talking that I'm seeing with Diddy. I know that people are paying attention, but she's not gonna be a Cassie. She is not going to let shit stop her, because the girl has a goal and she wants to be as, you know, a big star. She feels like, I have kids depending on me, my mom needs me. Like, she really takes it seriously that she has others who are depending on her to succeed and to be able to take care of and provide for them. And so she is determined that she's going to do what it takes to do that. So if that means hanging out with Diddy Bop gets me there, but then when Diddy Bop wants to get too serious, your girl's going to move on, because baby, like, I'm trying to be the next Cardi B, or, you know, get in some movies. I'm trying to get this bag over here. So Carisha's not gonna be falling in love with Mr. Diddy. However, this is what's funny, okay? Because we have this whole thing here of, yes, right now he's still in that place of, you know, healing from everything that's happened. But, and he's definitely very much more so than ever leaning into his spiritual side. There's something here about, he has just recently started working with a medium and is having conversations with Kim on the other side, making apologies to her and making amends with her, because he was shown by his own spirit guides that he needed to apologize to her, and he had no idea how else he could do that other than to, you know, have this psychic communicating with the with him, you know, for the other side. Through that, that's actually helping him heal, because he is getting messages from Kim that she doesn't want him, you know, being miserable forever, that he needs to fix himself for the kids' sake, because they need him and she needs him to be there for the kids, and he can't fully do that if he's still always holding on to, I messed up and your mom and everything. And so she's wanting him to heal for the sake of the kids. So that is actually helping him move forward and move on. And that's why we have him turning into the King of Cups over Young Miami. But he's going to find himself, you know, in a not great situation with this emotionally, because she has no intention of falling in love with him. Okay. None at all. Like I said, she's showing up as the Queen of Pentacles. She's all about getting what she needs out of this. And to be honest with you, Diddy's going to look at this as, this is my karma for having, you know, broken so many women's hearts myself in the past. He's also going to feel like I was foolish that she is the one that I fell for, because if I was really paying attention, I would have known she wasn't going to be Cassie number 2. You know, I put that on the wrong one. So he'll pick himself up and move on, and he will finally move into this king energy and try to find somebody more appropriate to choose as his person that he's settling down with. And Spirit's saying for him, this is something that he needed, not only for his healing process, but also for him to realize that it's much more important to find somebody that you have a really good time with, and not just who's the hottest chick out there, which is what he's done in the past, you know, or who's the power couple that we can make all these boss moves and everything. So, and the underlying energy here was Ace of Cups in reverse with this Four of Pentacles, which was talking about, you know, Carisha's just worried about how this is going to benefit her career and her financially. And, you know, the Strength card was talking about she's not going to let herself get emotionally involved. Because at the end of the day, even, you know, if Diddy's sitting there being like, I love you, I love you, I love you, let's get married and this and that, she knows who he is in his past, like we all do. She doesn't trust that he's gonna be that guy. It's like, I'm just like signing up to get my heart broken or to have my career go nowhere. No, thank you. And she wouldn't trust that he's changed, even if he, you know, jumps out of an airplane trying to prove himself. So let's see, Spirit, let's move on from Carisha's energy. Thank you. And can you please show us what the connection and relationship between Diddy and Joie is? Thank you. And what can we expect going forwards? Thank you, Spirit. Also expect you guys, like, here and there, we're going to see him out with kind of girls that, like, nobody knows, you know? Or, like, even maybe, like, people might start spreading a rumor that, oh, we saw him with Cash Doll or Dream Doll or, you know, GT, somebody else, you know, who's kind of around that rap girl level with Miami. So there's still other women, you know, it's just that he's not going to be super okay with everybody publicly, you know, knowing about it or going out of his way to post it or anything. It'll be more like somebody posted on TikTok that they were at a fight and they saw Diddy walk by holding hands with some Instagram model, you know, stuff like that. Or just gossip blogs saying, we heard he was with so-and-so last night at such and such party. But there will be no posting pictures of him holding hands. on a staircase with somebody's, you know, at somebody's birthday or any of the more public things that he's done with Miami, or the way that he's allowed Joie, whatever her name is, to you know, because she posts stuff and it's very obvious, even though he's not in it, that that's where she is. So okay, you know what, the underlying energy, we've got the Knight of Wands, the Hermit, and the Three of Cups talking about, you know, that's where Diddy came into this whole situation at, that I'm just gonna have a bunch of fun with a bunch of hot young girls that I know, you know, are gonna fly out, know the drill, do what they do, and we're all just gonna have fun, but nobody is gonna take it too seriously, right? The thing is that unfortunately, Joey's kind of looking at this situation as, I'm going to be the last one standing. I'm going to be the main one. I'm going to be the one that everybody else drops off, and I'm still here. She is looking for a long-term commitment from him, and she feels like, well, he's going to date around and then he'll settle on somebody, and it's going to be me, hopefully. That is her intended goal. Unfortunately for her, even if he tells you that y'all are exclusive, we all know how Diddy Bop operates. So we've got the Three of Swords and the Nine of Swords flanking that she will be very disappointed, because he is not going to stop cheating. And Spirit is saying, you know, he might sit there and tell her, oh, we're exclusive, and then literally like 3 hours later, Instagram post him out with Young Miami somewhere, or you know, one of these Instagram models or whatever, and she's, you know, like, what the fuck? Like, you just told me this morning that we weren't dating other people anymore, and now here you are, like, on the internet with somebody else this afternoon. Like, huh? But she's willing to play the fool. She's willing to accept the apologies and work on things. She's willing to accept the excuses, because Spirit's saying, you know, he's gonna be like, oh no, I was helping that girl walk down the stairs and everybody misinterpreted it and took the picture just the right angle. And she's like, okay, because listen, she's not doing this from an emotional place either. She sees him as the King of Pentacles. She's looking for stability. I mean, let's be honest. She herself has said that she makes her own money and she doesn't depend on her baby daddies to help her out. But Spirit's saying the opportunities that she has to make money are not as big or as plentiful as they used to be. And, you know, when Future is one of your baby daddies, you already know that your chances of getting a whole lot out of even a court judgment from him are going to be pretty small. Like, especially if everybody else is, you know, has a case on him, like, and he's saying in his court document responses to his other cases he doesn't have money. She really sat there and was like, oh my God, am I going to be the girl that, you know, if I did have to get to that extent to put him on child support, that gets $50 a month? Because he's got 9 other, you know, cases in front of him that he's got to pay on. So she was more worried about her own financial stability. So she is willing to play Cassie number 2 at this moment to be able to not have to worry about, you know, what if I don't get any jobs next month? What if, God forbid, I did need something from my child's dad and I couldn't get it because they wouldn't respond to me, or we weren't in a good place that month or whatever. she was looking for stability because we have this Ace of Wands behind, seeing him as the King of Pentacles. And Spirit is saying, you know, this is representing having that stability, that you can open doors for me. You can financially provide for me if I need it. So she's going to end up being the last one standing, because we all know that Carisha's going to end up moving on. You know, is it going to be the most best thing in the world? No, because again, you know, like I said, what he tells her behind closed doors and what he does as soon as he's not in her presence are two completely different things. And I don't think that he's going to care too much about how the public sees things or doesn't. She's going to be more, you know, having to kind of end up hiding. Because at some point it's going to be like, this is embarrassing, and I'd rather people think that, like, I just don't deal with you anymore and I'll hide that I still do, rather than, you know, because I already know he's not going to stop. Is there anything else you can tell us about Diddy's romantic life going forward? Thank you, Spirit. Also, there's something too that Spirit's saying. I don't know if they were communicating or he just thought he was going to wait for the appropriate amount of time and hop in. But there's something there about he also thought maybe there was an opportunity for him and J-Lo to reconnect when her and A-Rod split up. And then all of a sudden, you know, she popped up with Ben Affleck. And so that really kicked him into Diddy Bop mode, where he was like, I'm gonna go find a bunch of hot young girls and have a midlife crisis. So he's just been getting disappointments left and right in his love life. And so he's, you know, having his hot boy summer now. Spirit, what else should we know about Diddy's love life? This is getting long, and I don't like being in anybody's energy that long, especially when it's somebody like Diddy. Ugh. Okay, well, you know, even though Joie, whatever her name is going to be, you know, the one that is still basically around for a while and doesn't, you know, leave the way Carisha will, he's gonna end up leaving her. So, you know, it's like she'll be around kind of putting up with stuff, but it's basically like once he either decides I really want like a full partner, or I found somebody else that's more interesting and I don't have enough time for all of you, so one of you's got to go and I'm bored of you, so it's time for you to go. But he is going to be moving on from her and all the others that he will have while he is with her, leading to, you know, a Tower card moment for the females is what Spirit is saying. He's gonna want somebody to get older with. Not that this person is going to be older. Let's get that. Like, Diddy wants to become an old man while somebody sticks by his side. So at some point, he is gonna grow out of this hot boy summer phase and decide that he wants, you know, somebody, and a lot of it is really going to be that he feels like he wants a woman that he can respect and that his kids can respect too, kind of step into that mothering role, particularly because there's something about there's going to be a worry for him, or feeling like I need that person to step in and fill that role for my daughters, because I can never replace that feminine energy. I can't sit there and, you know, talk about tampons and period cramps and those kinds of things with you the way that another female could. And if you come to me with boy problems, I'm just going to turn into a dad and want to beat them up. I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, honey, if you do this instead. He's going to be thinking about all that kind of stuff, and how one of his daughters gets to have that, but the others don't. And it is about wanting to more so for his family than anything else. But I also feel like for him too, but he's still nervous that he can't find that woman who's going to make him fall in love, you know, and believe that he has another soulmate out there. There's still going to be that nervousness. So the first most important intention for him will be having a mother figure and that wife person, you know, to bring that feminine energy into the space and balance things out for the family's sake. Secondary is also, I would like to be in love with this person and have them be in love with me too. So he will be out there looking for his Queen of Cups that he can be, you know, that brings that emotional balance back into the home and helps the kids. And I do feel like he is gonna find it, because they are talking about, with the Judgment card here, the Sun and the Four of Wands, him being happy and finding that person who fits. So it's not gonna be Joy, it's gonna be somebody else. And Spirit's saying it'll be somebody who, they're still younger than him, but not in a way where we, you know, when you really think about it, you're like Diddy, you're 50 and Miami's like, what, 25? You know, like, that's kind of, you're old enough to be her dad. That's a little weird. It will be somebody who I feel like they're probably in their mid-30s. You know, it kind of feels like that. And he may end up having another child with this person too, because I do feel him being in a really family-oriented space when he connects to this woman. But if not, it is really about them really wanting, or she may have her own smaller children. But there is something about really blending a family together, and a lot of it. It's like, I don't know if you guys have seen, you know, how we keep seeing all the pictures out of like Travis Barker and Kourtney Kardashian and all their kids together at Disneyland. And, you know, they're trying to have all these fun trips with the kids so that they can get to know each other in a fun way, and not just, oh, you're marrying my mom and my dad and now we have to share a room, you know, kind of annoying thing. So I keep getting a lot of family togetherness, trips, fun, that kind of stuff of them doing to really bond, and everybody having a good time with that. So I'm curious to see who this person is gonna be. But anyways, guys, I love you all so very much. I hope you have an amazing day, and make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Who do you think Diddy's gonna end up with? I know somebody's gonna say Lauren London, and I will do that reading on Patreon. So, bye guys.